The tale begins far back in 41 BC when the Roman army plots to take over ancient Egypt and the two sides clash in a brutal war with countless losses. Yet despite the desperate resistance of the Egyptians, the Roman forces still succeed in invading, and this forces Cleopatra VII, the final queen of Egypt, to flee as her kingdom collapses before her very eyes. But even then she still remains the queen, and she knows she must carry the responsibility of guarding the sacred treasure of her people. When she reaches the feet of the great Sphinx, she begins to construct a labyrinth that no intruder can pass through, filling it with deadly traps and countless hidden dangers. And she seals the place forever with an army of the dead as thousands of fallen warriors wait beneath the sands, ready to rise again to defend the final treasure of Egypt. And before Cleopatra VII seals herself inside her own tomb, she casts a curse that will linger for eternity. In the present day, Velma uncovers a strange necklace while helping to restore the Sphinx. It turns out that she is actually working side by side with Prince Omar. And when the prince lifts the necklace to the sunlight, a beam shines through the jewel and reveals a hidden passage that leads directly into the lost tomb of Cleopatra VII, which has been hidden away for thousands of years. At the same time, the rest of the Mystery Inc. is on their way to Egypt, planning to surprise Velma after her 6 months of work there. But as they drive across the desert, the mystery machine suddenly shuts down because the radiator overheats in the brutal sun. And so Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are sent to look for help. And even though they walk only a short distance, it feels like endless miles beneath the burning sky. Exhausted and dizzy from heat stroke, they begin to hallucinate and rush toward what looks like an oasis, where they leap into the shimmering water and even start to pose playfully as if nothing is wrong. Yet Daphne silently wonders whether she should tell them the truth, but before she decides, they realize by themselves that it is only a mirage. And soon their strength fades as Scooby-Doo even mistakes a hawk for a vulture and whispers that his life is ending, only for a kind nomad to suddenly appear. The man greets them warmly and introduces himself as Amal Ali Akbar, and Fred quickly responds by explaining that their van broke down on the way to the Sphinx, and Amal offers his camels to guide them to a place where they might find water. So the group gratefully agrees, and together they set out across the desert. Their journey leads them to what should be the mighty waters of the Nile, but no river is there. And so Amal gently bids them farewell as he must continue on to care for his camels. Yet before leaving, he points them toward the hill where the Sphinx rests. They thank him sincerely, and he smiles as he replies that if fate allows, he will see them again. And then he disappears with his caravan into the sands. Following his directions, the gang soon reaches the Sphinx, where a camera suddenly appears and points directly at Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, and they discover it belongs to Rock Rivers, a reporter famous for traveling into terrifying places to capture evidence of the supernatural. Daphne recalls seeing his face in the papers because he once staged fake footage for attention, which destroyed his own career, and now he has come here because of the ancient curse, hoping that if he films it and proves it real, he can return to fame. Scooby-Doo shivers with fear until a strange smell catches his nose, and he bolts off to find its source, and this leads him directly to Velma. The rest of the gang follows and tells Velma that Scooby-Doo missed her deeply, although she quickly realizes the truth that he only wanted a Scooby snack. Suddenly Prince Omar enters with panic in his voice and insists that the tomb is now closed because he cannot risk intruders, but Velma calmly explains that these are her friends, and Omar finally relaxes, though he warns them that ever since the tomb was uncovered he has had to guard against treasure hunters. Fred wonders aloud if the curse is real or only a legend passed down through whispers, but Scooby-Doo and Shaggy refuse to listen as they would rather not hear about curses. Then the ground trembles as a roaring convoy of motorcycles surrounds them. And from a descending helicopter steps a sharp voice praising the beauty of the Sphinx. And Velma freezes for a moment because she instantly recognizes the voice as belonging to Amelie von Butch, a notorious archaeologist and one of the most feared treasure hunters in the world. Prince Omar is about to report what is happening to his superiors when Amelie von Butch suddenly snatches the phone from his hand and smashes it into pieces. Even though he tries desperately to warn her about the curse, but she dismisses his words as nothing more than superstition. She and her team move forward into the tomb with no hesitation. When the locked gate stands before her, she simply plants a bomb to blow it apart. A warning is carved into the walls that says those who defile the secret tomb of the pharaohs will bring the collapse of the Nile and awaken the desert, as the army of the dead rises and every intruder will be turned into stone. Yet for Amelie von Butch and her crew, these words sound like the kind of scary tale told only to frighten children, because she believes with her advanced equipment she can detect danger before it strikes. Even as Prince Omar pleads with her not to proceed, she refuses and presses the detonator, and the echoes of the explosion rumble through the chambers as terrifying sounds rise up, which makes Scooby-Doo and Shaggy tremble with fear. Soon the spirits begin to slip free as a violent sandstorm bears down upon them. Velma and Prince Omar realize in horror that the curse is coming true, so they rush inside, but Daphne and Fred are blinded by the storm. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are swept into the air until a steel container slams them back into the tomb, and when they look up they see the impossible truth that Prince Omar has already been turned into stone. They hurry to tell the rest of Mystery Inc. what they witnessed, and even though Amelie Von Butch sees it with her own eyes, she still denies it and continues deeper with her followers. Not realizing the army of the dead has already awakened, the gang wonders why Omar, who only wanted to protect the tomb, suffers the curse, and Fred suggests there may be another mystery behind it. But Velma firmly insists that this time the danger is far too great and the best choice is to step away, which shocks Shaggy because he never imagined Velma would ever reject solving a mystery. Yet before anything else they must try to restore Omar, so Velma suggests using his journal to navigate the chambers, while Scooby-Doo and Shaggy whisper their own plan to stay behind and guard against intruders. But Fred refuses since the risk is too high and insists they all go together. Deeper into the tomb the gang advances. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy nervously ask just how deep this abyss might be, only to stumble and separate from the others, while elsewhere Amelie's team encounters the first trap. They examine the mechanism, but Scooby-Doo and Shaggy suddenly burst onto the scene and accidentally push everyone directly into danger, and the ground begins to crack apart, forcing them to run for their lives until once again Scooby-Doo and Shaggy end up isolated. Fortune twists as Scooby-Doo finds food in the chaos, and once the others confirm the pair survives, they continue deeper with Amelie's team until sensors detect movement nearby, while Scooby-Doo and Shaggy wander among coffins. Then a strange light suddenly shines and the army of the dead surges forward, sending the two fleeing in terror, and their screams echo back to the others who realize the undead are closing in. Realizing they are surrounded, Amelie's group tries to fight back, but before they can do anything they are swiftly seized and carried away. And Mystery Inc. knows they are hopelessly unprepared, so they choose the only tactic they can, which is to run. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy stumble into a chamber lined with deadly traps, narrowly dodging each hazard with their awkward agility, and just as the stone doors slam shut they leap through in time, but danger follows as a zombie finds them, and they manage to trick it into its own coffin before sprinting onward. Yet more undead rise and chase them. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy try to escape, but before they can run far, they are chased by another group of undead. In desperation, they disguise themselves as glamorous zombie women, swaying their hips to distract the horde before tossing a carpet to trip them. For a moment they believe they are safe until the ground gives way into quicksand. They scream for help, but the moment the undead reach to save them, they continue to flail like swimmers, and at the result they escape. But the storm does not stop there when once again fate carries them away in a collapsing coffin that drifts both of them far away. Meanwhile, Velma stumbles in the storm of pursuit, her glasses flying away so she cannot see until a zombie eerily hands her the lenses back, only for her to realize she has wandered into the wrong chamber, and it is too late as the curse takes her and she becomes stone. Fred and Daphne arrive only after it happens, and with unyielding spirit Fred hands Daphne the necklace while he clutches Omar's journal, declaring he will find Scooby-Doo and Shaggy and uncover the truth. At the same time, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are lost and drifting somewhere. They can't control the coffin, so it carries them down a river. Seeing a waterspout ahead, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy have no choice but to leave it to fate. The coffin plunges straight into the waterspout and soon takes them to a strange place. Shaggy opens the coffin lid and sees the majestic surroundings, but he doesn't have much time to be happy because countless spears are pointed at him. When Scooby-Doo shows up, everyone's attitude changes 180 degrees. They kneel down and shout the name Pharaoh of Scoobies. The leader quickly appears and asks what is going on. They learn that Pharaoh of Scoobies has returned, just like the prophecy foretells about the greatest pharaoh, accompanied by his servant Shajan. At first Shaggy doesn't intend to admit it, but when he hears that he will be fed a sumptuous meal, he realizes that sometimes silence is golden. Meanwhile, Fred and Daphne are still on the way to find Scooby-Doo and Shaggy when they unexpectedly meet Rock Rivers. Daphne thinks he is the one behind these mysteries, but he denies it. Not only that, he also accidentally finds the burial place of the entire army of the dead. But Fred and Daphne realize that something is wrong because there are spider webs everywhere, so how could they move out of curiosity? Rock Rivers goes to a scroll, looks at it, and based on Prince Omar's diary, the whole group learns that the necklace is the key to the curse, although they don't understand what it means. Suddenly Amelia Von Butch's group appears and wants to take the necklace. Fred warns them not to come near because he knows judo, but it looks odd. One of Amelia Von Butch's group quickly discovers that something is coming based on the radar. "Who dares to disturb my secret?" the ghost of Cleopatra 7 says. She orders everyone to leave here and not come back. But Amelia Von Butch refuses to go home empty-handed. As a result, the whole group immediately suffers the wrath of Cleopatra 7 when she releases countless locusts. Everyone has no choice but to abandon everything and run for their lives. Fred and Daphne quickly grab a motorbike and escape, although they still have to rescue Velma and Prince Omar. First they need to find someone to help. Meanwhile, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are being treated to a sumptuous meal by the people. Now they finally know this is the lost city of the ancients and legend. The people here come from many different lands and choose to live in the way of the ancient pharaohs, meaning no television, no computers, and no fast food. Other things can be missing, but when it comes to food, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy never accept any shortage. Elsewhere, Fred and Daphne pause to think how to track down their friends, and Fred imagines himself as Shaggy, asking where he would go if he had escaped from the Sphinx, and the answer is naturally wherever there is food. Then by thinking like Scooby-Doo, Fred sniffs out a marketplace. Daphne buys a bag to conceal the necklace, but despite their caution they are still noticed. The thieves is not only one, but he also has accomplices. Fred struggles to fight back, but Daphne is not strong enough, and in the end both of them are drugged. It turns out the thieves only want the bag. Night is already falling when the nomad suddenly appears to awaken Fred and Daphne, and he explains with calm assurance that the three of them are safe because they are standing upon the very summit of the pyramid. And not only that, Amal Ali Akbar sends his hawk soaring into the night sky to search for any trace of Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, until at last the bird returns carrying Scooby-Doo's necklace, which allows Amal to determine exactly where they are. Meanwhile, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are escorted into a grand arena where Hotep, the leader of the lost city, announces before the people that the greatest pharaoh of Scoobies, has returned exactly as the prophecy once foretold, and together with his loyal servant now they must fight. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, however, in their usual confusion, believe that they are about to play a simple game of baseball. According to the prophecy, both of them must sacrifice themselves in battle against the almighty spirit of the sand. And the moment the heavy gates are lifted, a colossal sand scorpion bursts forth, charging directly at them, leaving the two friends with no choice but to rely on their only true skill, which is running. They run with everything they have, as though their very lives depend upon it, and indeed their lives do, until they stumble headlong into a stable, only to return once more with no better plan. Forced again to dash desperately from one end of the arena to the other, north to south, east to west, they scatter in blind panic until their chariot collapses in ruin, compelling them to continue on foot. At last, when the scorpion is momentarily distracted, they seize the chance to lure it into leaping against a wall across the river, and in that instant the citizens of the lost city realize with shock that the creature is no true monster at all. Hotep struggles to explain that matters are not what they seem, when suddenly a remote control is exposed to the light, and immediately the nomad arrives together with Fred and Daphne. Amal Ali Akbar proclaims that this is no mighty ruler, but merely a construction engineer named Armin Granger, a man who has committed countless unlawful deeds by polluting the waters of the Nile. The people of the lost city, upon hearing this revelation, erupt in fury. At that moment, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy discover to their horror that Velma has been turned to stone. Fred reflects that if the drying of the Nile is the result of the engineer's schemes, then perhaps the curse of Cleopatra 7 is nothing more than a carefully woven deception, and he resolves to use this suspicion to design a plan to expose the truth. After that, Mystery Inc. splits into two groups, and Fred, together with Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, ventures deeper into the tomb. There they stumble upon Rock Rivers, already petrified, though they had believed him to be safe, and they hear the heavy march of the undead army echoing through the chambers. Following the sound, they see Amelia Von Butch's gang captured, and Fred immediately sets the second phase of his plan in motion. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy disguise themselves as mummies, claiming they have come because Cleopatra 7 is hosting a banquet. Though the guards find the story absurd, they eventually allow them to pass. But Scooby-Doo doesn't notice that the rope is stuck behind them, and as a result they get exposed. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy have no choice but to run for their lives. Yet Shaggy quickly shows Scooby-Doo a hiding spot from the two guards, there they accidentally come across several bags of cement and wonder why they are there. Peering outside, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy witness Amelia Von Butch's group dragged before the ghost of Cleopatra 7. A sudden blaze of light flares up as the ghost demands to know who dares to challenge her. Amelia pleads that they have merely wandered in by chance and are only curious, but her words are met with no mercy as the general of the Queen orders 2 of her companions sealed into coffins, and the ghost herself turns others into stone, declaring that ambition has brought them here to witness her beauty. When she fully reveals herself, Amelia falls to her knees and begs for forgiveness, claiming she regrets her choices, but it is too late. At that moment, Scooby-Doo notices Fred signaling. At first, he cannot tell whether it is a signal or simply frantic waving, until Shaggy explains the truth, and so Scooby-Doo drags him forward, and together they strike the great gong to mark the beginning of the battle. Fred sails a boat directly toward the undead army, while Daphne, disguised as Cleopatra 7, prepares to enter the plan. The clash begins in full force, but Fred unveils a hidden weapon in the form of a giant magnet that disrupts the undead ranks. Meanwhile, another group secretly kidnap the fake Cleopatra 7. Daphne, observing that the ghost of Cleopatra 7 appears frighteningly unpleasant, she decides to improve her appearance, and Scooby-Doo and Shaggy rush in, pretending to be beauticians who have just completed a training course, but their efforts fail, so they leap upon a flying carpet and flee, bringing down countless undead soldiers in the process. By accident, they also free Amelia Von Butch. When no one is paying attention, she runs straight into the real tomb of Cleopatra 7. The missing piece on her is from the necklace. As soon as Amelia Von Butch puts it back in its place, the surrounding walls rise and countless treasures appear. She is about to take the crown when the ghost of Cleopatra 7 shows up, but in a moment of carelessness, the ghost lets Amelia Von Butch escape with the crown. As a result, the tomb collapses, forcing the mystery ink to flee. Amelia Von Butch quickly uses her grappling hook gun to escape, leaving the gang and the Cleopatra VII's ghost on the small boat. The moment Shaggy sees the ghost, he yells at Scooby-Doo to row faster because she is literally right behind them. Meanwhile, Amelia makes it outside. Just as she is about to put on the crown, the Nomad's hawk swoops down and snatches it. Not only that, but Amelia also falls into a trap he has set beforehand. On the other hand, the gang finally escapes along the Nile as countless treasures of Cleopatra 7 spill out with the current. They end up stranded on a small cliff. Instead of being scared, Scooby-Doo catches a familiar scent and realizes the ghost of Cleopatra 7 is actually Velma in disguise. While the general of the undead army is none other than Prince Omar, the moment he sees the prince, the Nomad returns the crown. The mystery is then revealed. When Omar learns the tomb has been discovered, he knows treasure hunters will come after it, so he creates a plan about Cleopatra 7's curse. Velma plays the ghost of Cleopatra 7, while Omar and the workers act as the undead army. The stone statues everyone sees are actually quick-drying cement. The plan would have been perfect if not for the gang's unexpected arrival. Although she knows her friends want to help, this mission is far too dangerous, so Velma cannot risk it. With Cleopatra 7's treasure, Egypt's prosperity will soon return. That night, everyone celebrates after successfully restoring the Sphinx, but no one expects Shaggy, who wants a hero, to suddenly turn into the one at fault when he accidentally fires fireworks at the Sphinx's face, knocking its nose off.